In Cavite, the malls seem to be bouncing back slowly but surely. Now that things have opened up, people are not so worried about COVID. Still a mystery to me how it all of a sudden disappears. I know they were in a big rush to get the vaccinations here, but who cares? It's gone. Things are starting to get back to normal. In Palawan, they have a different style Trike. More looks like more of a little car, has different kind of front ends, emblems, Mercedes and so forth. But in Cavite, this is what they look like. Cab drivers waiting for their rides in front of the store. Salamat! In Cavite, they have electric carts. They have more of these here because it's so congested. Electric carts can be more efficient. Not so in Palawan. I don't think I've seen one. Maybe one in a long, long time. But they're common here. So Cavite tries its best to save on gas. But in reality, you have to have something to make the electricity. Hey guys, just a quick note. We were flying from Puerto Princesa to Manila, and we were worried about all the S-Pass, the health pass that you have to have, all the stuff that you have to have or they won't board you. But we get there and they let us in, showed the ticket, and then they ask you, where's your license or your ID? Give them a Philippine driver's license, and that's all they ever ask for. So traveling is a whole lot easier. No vaccines had to be given or anything else. Go for it. Start traveling. Well, traffic is back in Manila. A year ago, the streets were empty. There were quarantines everywhere, people hiding. Sure sign that Manila's making a good comeback now. It took 4 hours to cross town. A year ago, you look up at the building and the cranes on top, and they're just gliding in the wind. There was no activity. Things were falling down. They were falling loose. It was neglect. No one wanted to put money into projects when everything was stalemated by COVID. Now look at it. People are back in the buildings. They're building again. Manila is coming back. I was wandering around just close to our house. We have a little barangay area where the kids used to play. Not playing anymore. One reason is all the equipment here is rusted and rotted. Kids have nowhere to play on this stuff, and then everyone else loses respect for it. See by all the trash. I'd like to get some new playground equipment for these kids and get the barangay to agree to clean up the place, which I'm sure they would, but there's no one here to cause that reason. So if y'all find it in your hearts to contribute, you can see my Patreon or my PayPal page, and we'll get these kids some new playground equipment. It doesn't have to be super expensive. It's something that they can just get on and start playing with. Appreciate any help you might offer. Hello. You heard us talk about problems with water out at the farm. How hard it's been to get. So when we get to Cavite, we find out there's no water. All the water has been turned off for 2.5 weeks to go till April 1st. They're able to redo some water supply locations and facilities, and they've shut the water off totally. So right now, that faucet is wide open. We were lucky to get this much water today because they opened it up and it started dripping. We were lucky today because the toilet would flush as well because the water was filling it up. But not so now. So we collect water where we can, and lucky for us, we have a well inside the home that we can count on. It's not so with everyone else. I don't know how they're doing it. But Manila water strikes again. Hey, good afternoon. I know we talked about wells some, and we talked about the problems we had with ours. So I'm going to show you a couple different ones. I'm in Cavite now, so this is a different well. This is a plunger that it kind of goes up and down, like if it was a hand. The hand version of it. Oh, hi baby, hi. He's not real happy with me here. But you can see where the plunger goes up and down. And it pulls the water up and then pushes it out into the pipe, and then it goes into a pressure container here that keeps the water pressure. So it's got an automatic sensor on it. Tells you when the water pressure is low and starts to pump up. But this is unique because it has the pump sitting on top and the huge wheel that does the moving of it and activates the up and down pumping. It's rather an old well. I'll show you what we have in our home in Cavite. It's different. It has more of a traditional type pump, but I thought this was kind of cool. There's different ways of getting water pressure too. If you notice here, somebody's playing. Yes. It's got a water tower sitting way up there. They use gravity to get water pressure built up instead of a pump and a pressure system like this one. We have the gravity at the farm. It's not as high as this, of course, but we get good pressure out of it because of the quantity we have inside it. Yesterday I showed you an older type pump. This is more traditional, but it's still old. You can see the rust on it. It's maybe well settled in, but it goes down into an existing well. So you can see where the pressure comes off it. It goes into a pressure tank. This is probably more common installs that you'll see here in the Philippines, but it is pretty old. I don't know how long it'll last, but it keeps running. But this is always handy, like here in Cavite where we have no water right now still. We'll see if it comes back on the 1st like it's supposed to. Interesting stuff.